fiery vengeance, though. They're bringing out that Orion straight away, and once the double lances are in hand for both these teams, I think it's going to be a strong anti-aerial game, Polly.
Definitely going to be quite anti-aerial, but also keep in mind, Delta and TM, they have that amazing ability at maintaining stage control, and Jesus Christ, Fozey already getting a knockout in the first 13 seconds in the game, starting a 2v1 combo as well. I can't even finish my sentence, Keg.
Well, Easter's coming up soon, and Fozey right now trying to go for those 1v1s against TM off stage. Really low again, the pressured footwork that we're seeing. Godly taking a bit more of a backseat at the beginning of this game, but there we go. As I say that, the recovery comes through, and Godly takes down the first stocks now of both of Red Team.
Both TM and Delta on their second stock, indeed looking grim so far. Delta and TM are gonna have to try and bounce back as they take stage control here. Delta getting a couple of good hits and TM following it up. That KO would be instrumental for their success, but Delta isn't able to find it. He's gonna follow up with that end-sig though.
And Fozey still bringing all that pressure, of course, as I say that I'm the April Fool. Fozey loses that first stock, but TM right now, all eyes should be on him. Forced to play for the ledge guard here, and Fozey distracted by the down sig, unable to do much. Had great pressure though. Red Team trying to maintain that neutral, doing so well, but again, the big strength that we've been seeing from Godly and Fozey through, again, multiple tournaments has just been how well they can play off of each other. These small, team-wide combos, these 2v2 ones that you simply cannot get out of. TM, the victim of one now, down to their final stock for game one.
And I feel like the most interesting thing is that's personally what I know Delta and TM for. They have super good synergy. They work very well together, but Fozey and Godly seems to be beating them at their own game right now. Delta is going to be able to find that end light though, and the Sarah off stage, putting them in a better spot now. But are they going to be able to find the KOs? They're going to get one, and Fozey will go down shortly after from TM's Lance. But that was a great effort from Godly and Fozey to come back.
Oh, absolutely. But Delta's there at the bottom of the stage is exactly what we were talking about. TM, though, first to go down for the first game this set. Now this Axe, we talked about how much wonders it's been able to do earlier on in the 2v2s. Has to clutch up right here against Fozey and Godly. We talked about how strong these 2v1 situations are. The follow-ups into the recovery is there, and the Axe is now lost.
Godly and Fozey trying to look for this 2v1 combo. To be real, they don't even really need it. A couple of true combos and Delta is done for here. The end light comes out, the D-Sig from the spear catches him as well, and that is going to be Fozey and Godly winning the first game of top 8.
Yeah, quite a fundamental game coming out from Fozey and Godly. Again, nothing really too wild coming out there. Just, again, dividing out TM and Delta, ensuring that, like you said, they're so strong in their own 2v1 team-wide combos. Make sure that they can't do that. Make sure that they have to fight 1v1s. And like we saw TM at the beginning of that last game, unable to even use that first stock at all. As we go back to Apocalypse again, I don't really see the game plan for Fozey and Godly changing at all.
Yeah, Godly and Fozey, they're definitely having this kind of game plan where they are pushing TM and Delta constantly into a corner, trying to get them as stressed out and pressured as possible. And TM and Delta, so far, you know, they're used to being the ones in control. They are used to having the stage control and controlling the flow of the game. Godly and Fozey are doing such a good job at just taking that away from them so far.
Yeah, so far in this matchup, the Axe coming out from TM, already surviving much more than they did for the first stock in game one. A great download effort potentially coming out now. A really good reset here, a much more even game than we had seen. Though, Godly sent up into the air, so was Fozey. Both of them, every single person on stage right now, down to their final inches of this first stock. It all comes down to the next hit. Instrumental. Whoever loses this first stock could very well lose this match, and Fozey's the first to go down.
Godly stalling his stock for as long as possible on the edge, and does so successfully. I was definitely holding my breath for him there. But he is going to be coming out on top. But the dangerous part now is that the moment anyone gets knocked out, that's a 2v1 situation, and it's going to be TM. He's going to have to try and cling on to that stock, but he won't be able to.
Yeah, Fozey's there for the follow-up. Godly, the last one, remaining with 3 stocks now. You can see the aggression from TM and Delta has aggressed so much more. They're trying to hunt down Godly, get that chip damage on Fozey in the process. But at the same time, they know if that buffer room for Godly still exists, with gauntlets no less, that is very trivial.
Especially when you're on gauntlets. Very, very good detail, Kick. When you're on those gauntlets and you have a stock to spare, you can go crazy. But that is going to be Godly going down to Delta's Axe.
And great ledge guards coming out again from blue team. Red team now sent into the air, trying to find those follow-ups, but again, TM and Delta, they've been separated for the majority of the second game. They're unable to follow up with each other until it's a 2v1. Delta falls, and TM soon to possibly follow. Godly's there for the ledge guard, gravity cancel, D-Light into the recovery, so strong, but no weapons to be found at all. TM needs to hold on to the second stock.
Delta now on the axe, has been in the air for so long, he can't seem to catch a break as he's now stuck in a 2v1. Godly desigging Fozey though, this is a moment of opportunity.
And usually it's the other way around. Fozey's the one with that secondary stock and Godly takes the brunt of the damage, but he's been playing a little bit slower, a little bit more quiet this game. There's nothing wrong with that. It keeps Delta and TM on their toes. They can't catch on to the momentum and fully download the blue team. They have to fight these 2v1s wherever they can, but Godly and Fozey allow very little opportunities to be separated out themselves.
And here we see Delta and TM starting to go deeper for every interaction. Delta throwing out like 6 spear airs in a row on the side of the stage. So they know that they need something big if they want a chance at winning here.
Look at this now. Everyone playing a little bit slower, a little bit more cautious, especially red team on stage. Fighting for the neutral. Great follow-up almost against Godly. Fozey's there to cancel the attack.
Whichever team gets a 2v1 first might just be the victorious one, and it's going to be TM trying to 2v1 Godly and Fozey here. Definitely a spot none of us would want to be in, and that's the D-Light Seer coming out. Fozey finding the last KO, putting the set at 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, again, same fundamental pressure that we had seen come out from Godly and Fozey. No real changes coming out there, but I gotta say, even in Winter Champs, we had seen a lot of top-level Ulgrim play come out from just about every team at this upper echelon, but not a whole lot of Ulgrim coming out this time around. And when we have seen Ulgrim, like in the last 2 games, it didn't really have a lot of pressure. We didn't really see a lot of Lance play against Fozey's Orion Lance, but now we get to see the double Bryn switch up here. I like this change. Axes almost across the board for the red team once again, but now double spear might be even better. Just get a little bit more range, have that escape room against Fozey especially.
Definitely, and on that spear, you're going to be able to zone out a lot of space and secure it for your own team, you know, making your stage control even better, which is exactly what they're struggling with here against Godly and Fozey.
Oh,
Delta.
There we go. Fozey falls. Is this the end of Fozey for the first stock? No, they can just barely not make it back. You know what we call that, Polly?
What do we call that?
Holy moly. I can't believe it. But everybody else still has full stocks. TM, though, we may have spoken too soon. The possible launch guard against Fozey, but they overextend too early. Now TM, a little far out of the water. Again, Fozey goes for the gravity cancel, and Sig is able to find 1. Make that almost 2.
Fozey is going crazy on this spear right now, throwing out signatures left and right, finding that knockout as well. It's now Delta on the 2v1 off stage against Fozey and Godly. They go for the double grab pump, but they can't find it. Delta is still going.
Oh, jeez. I'm worried about TM and Fozey right now. If they lose their second stock right here, right now, somehow, that's going to spell devastation. Especially for Fozey, oh, I'm sorry, for Delta and TM. They lose this game, they're going to go down to the lower bracket. They have to hold on, but Delta falls, but now everyone's down to 2 stocks. It's still a relatively even game.
Super dangerous spot for TM. Delta able to come in and distract the other team so he can make it back up without getting knocked out. Now with a moment of stage control, able to do some damage, but TM just keeps finding himself stuck on this ledge. He's gonna fall victim to Fozey's D-Lights.
Oh, I really love this adjustment from TM, forcing Fozey over to the ledge multiple times in a row. Fozey, normally looking comfortable in almost every situation, has not been able to consistently connect those ledge guard plays. Fozey falls, now the tides have turned. The double Bryn plays working out well, having the stock lead. Truly a lead for the first time in a game at all in this top 8 series.
Beautiful DC coming out from Fozey, and this is dangerous for Delta, who could get knocked out in a split second. That's not going to be enough knockout to to close the deal. Godly finishing it up with that recovery. Now TM in the 2v1. This is dangerous.
It is dangerous. And Delta without a weapon picks up the spear. And this is that double spear we talked about. Great control of the neutral game. Fozey and Godly can't play for the anti-air anymore as Godly falls. The 2v1 now, triple spears on the board. They're trying to entrap Fozey. He's not going to allow it. He's trying to stay into the air, but it's all bait for the neutral Sig. Great work for Delta and TM to keep themselves in the winner's bracket, at least for just another game. And they only need one more, Polly, to bring things possibly to a Game 5.
I loved this Brynn pick, man. The spear,
so
and
good.
especially the Brynn signatures, are doing them so well on the axis and on the lances. You know, TM and Delta, they really are like a brute force kind of team. But I don't know if you paid attention that game, Keg. They both did 490 damage. Like, that is some efficient KOs. That is not a lot of damage.
It's not a lot of damage, but it goes to show how much more TM and Delta have been trying to play off stage. They're just trying to end these stocks really quick against blue team. And Fozey, again, trying to start off this fourth game off stage, trying to just get an early stock takedown like we had seen in game 1, but this time the success factor's not really in that play. Team and Delta playing more so on stage, Delta at times taking the overextension off, and only then just minuscule chip damage being applied to both teams in the process.
I've had my eyes on TM this entire first stock, and I swear to God, he has hit the enemy players with at least 20 light attacks with the axe. I don't know what happened. TM leveled up from this Brynn swap.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it comes down to the onus that TM wasn't able to find a lot of lance play with Ulgrim. So I think swapping around to the spear, being more in sync with Delta, has been just a big benefit. And Brynn's signatures are pretty simple too. So you just cover a lot of space, a lot of damage at the same time. There's not a whole lot of setup as much involved.
Definitely, they are trying to find these KOs now and just solidify their lead even further. Jesus, I just took a look. I just took a look at the health. I did not notice how far Team and Delta are in the lead, and that is going to be Godly going down as well. Delta is soon to follow, but whenever Fozey goes down here, that's another 2v1 onto Godly. This is actually a pretty bad spot for blue team.
And Godly tries to maintain that aerial control, bouncing around. At least some chip damage against Delta, but there it is, the dare against one recovery, make that 2. Good for the Nair. Delta gets back on stage, though. That could have been the opportunity to even up the game.
Delta and the TM with the offstage synergy, able to get out of Godly's grasp there. But now that's going to be a quick 2v1 combo onto TM, giving him a hard time all the way down on red here now, across the board for the red team. And we're going to see stocks flying at any time, Keg.
That's what makes me worried most. Fozey and TM again, playing off stage. Each one of these again usually canceled out by that recovery. Fozey playing a dangerous game again, leaving Godly quite literally on an island. But Delta falls, and so does TM. A breathing room, but not the end of the road just yet. Godly's so low on HP. If they fall now, they leave Fozey in a 1v2.
Thing is, Fozey and Godly, they've kind of taken back the control of the game here. They are controlling the flow of the game, and they have the stage control, but TM finding the knockout, that's going to be a 2v1. Fozey is going to have a very hard time coming back here.
Oh, the setup is there. There it is, the double Brynn wonder. What a shutdown. 2 games in a row, same exact conclusion. But I gotta say, Polly, I'm really liking the double Brynn picks again. But I'm a little worried about Godly and Fozey because we're not seeing as much of that team synergy, that team-wide play that we've come to know from them. They're getting separated out so much. Fozey's opting to play almost exclusively off stage, and Godly's trying to help out with the on-stage cover, but it's just not clicking.
Keg, you know what I say, man. 2 dots make a line, and so far, I mean, let's just if you look at the last stock of that game, the last 2 stocks, and you looked at those in a vacuum, you would say that Fozey and Godly are playing a lot better as of right now. If they are able to keep up that level of gameplay, they're going to be winning this.
I mean, they just operate the best when there's a fire lit under them. We saw the same thing in the grand finals of Winter 2v2s. They forced the bracket reset against Acno and Blaze. They brought it all the way to the extensions there again. The full amount of games. And here we are again, game 5. Just exactly where Godly and Fozey like to be. And if you're right, Polly, we should be able to see them play better than they've played so far this entire event. But right now, it's mostly the Godly game right now. A 2v1, Fozey trying to be there for the follow-up. Delta goes back up into the air, but so many nairs everywhere we're seeing dares in the process. And Delta and TM in the process of all this chaos are still setting up for these 2v1 combos.
Something changed in Godly. I see it in the look in his eyes, Keg. He is playing so differently now. Especially his gauntlets. He is looking so clean on it. Fozey is going to be going down with Godly, potentially soon to follow. Takes a spear there
no
from
chance.
Delta, and that's going to be him going down. But I have faith in Fozey and Godly. They're not to be underestimated.
No, by no means. But they have a deficit for themselves right now in the winner's bracket game 5. If they can't even up this game, turn back the tide, they're going to be going down to the lower bracket. But TM and Delta right now, we talked about them over and over. They've looked even more clean, I would argue, so far this series, but Delta falls. TM, the last one, with their third stock. Soon to possibly follow. Fozey there for the ledge guard, doesn't find the ground pound. TM just barely inching back, escaping by pixels.
Maneuvering. That was so clean by TM, able to get out of a spear ground pound when you have like one jump left. Anyone that's played like ranked ever knows how hard that is.
Fozey's taking a lot of damage in the process. TM and Delta targeting Fozey right now, attempting to find their way in, but Godly's there. Full neutral game with those gauntlets, like you said, unbelievably clean, but unable to find the entry point as Fozey again targeted down to red.
Beautiful Sair punish coming out from TM to catch Godly there. Now with the spear in hand, trying to go back onto him again. Now unarmed, very even, but as Delta gets knocked away, this is going to create a pseudo 1v1 for TM, which he takes care of wonderfully. Delta unfortunately hitting him with a D-line there, though.
Wow! That was such a great downsync from Fozey. It sent both Delta and TM away, but at the end, Fozey was still punishing Godly falls. It might not be that much of a lead, but it's still a lead nonetheless for Red Team.
Still a lead nonetheless, and TM and Delta, if there's any team that's amazing at riding the wave that is a lead in 2v2, it is going to be TM and Delta. They are able to run away with a lot of shenanigans, so Fozey and Godly need to take this away from them as soon as possible before it's too late.
TM just avoiding the 2v1. Plays to maintain that second stock, unable to do so. A great Sair coming out from Godly sends TMs away to their final stock. Final stock now for everybody in the winner's bracket. Only one team can remain and move forward to the winner's finals.
Delta on this axe, able to knock Godly away a little bit. To be able to pressure Fozey even more with their teammates. There's so much back and forth happening right now, Keg. This is so even.
Oh no. Fozey's been maintaining this final stock so well. Delta and TM have to play this carefully. Everyone down to red. There it is, a great Sair sends Fozey away. And now it's down to Godly in the 2v1. And we've seen how strong Red Team can be in those situations. Godly, though, with the Sair brings it to an even 1v1. And Godly, quite literal to his name. So good in these situations, sends TM away without a weapon. Not even any space. And by the skin of his teeth, they're able to go to winners finals.
There's
Wow.
nothing quite like seeing a Godly 2v1, and now is there 5 KOs to his name and 590 damage. He's able to close it out and advance into winner finals with Fozey.
I mean,
What a
that
set.
was just so close, yeah. And I mean,